Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Sarah Yu. I'm a show host, Dr. Sarah Yu, for today's America World, as well as show host Dr. Sarah for U.S. Senate, as well as the U.S. Congress. Today I have a great man that who are sharing best idea to learning our business. Welcome the CEO Matthew. Can you explanation? Welcome.
Yes, thank you so much for having me, Dr. Sarah Liew. It's great to be here. My
Okay,
name's
great.
Matt. Thanks.
Great. Great. Thank you for coming. We are all welcome to you. So first, I have a few questions for you. My audience want to know about you, who you are, where you're from, what kind of company you are learning, and what is your passionate, what is expert to you. Can you explanation that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think I'm a third or fourth generation American born in Texas. I eventually made my way to Denver, Colorado for school, where I studied first psychology, and then I went back and got my master's in business. And I've been in business ever since studying business. First, I had a real estate company in Denver, and we invested in real estate in Colorado with out-of-state investors, and we rented those properties to roommates who needed to meet people in Denver as they were new to Colorado, and that was a great business model. Eventually, though, I wanted to be a little bit more international, and it was always my dream to have an online company. So almost 8 years ago, I started handshaking.com. That's right, handshaking. And it's a lead generation marketing company. So we work with real estate contractors like concrete, roofing, carpet cleaners, all the not so sexy real estate contracting that you have to pay for when something breaks in your house. And we've been doing that for 8 years now, almost.
Great to hear. Tell me about your virtual step. I know that you are using many virtual step from like Philippines or any other world, as well as you introduction those virtual team to other business owner. Okay, tell me that. I'm very interested about that.
Yes, well, coming from real estate, I got out with a little bit of money, but I did not have a huge exit like many tech entrepreneurs have had. So I had a little bit of money to start my business, and we started just like a regular marketing agency. We would take all kinds of different work, and then at the same time, I was hiring Americans as contractors, and that was incredibly expensive. And as a new marketing company, we didn't really know what our special sauce was. We were trying all kinds of different things like
Okay.
Instagram marketing, personal branded websites, and there's not a lot of money in that, and there's a lot of competition, and my payroll was quite high. So I decided, why don't I let go of these Americans? And at the time, I had already had a part-time virtual assistant who helped me with the real estate company. She helped with posting on Craigslist and communicating with tenants, maintenance requests, anything that could be done online. Unfortunately, she could not go to the property and repair it. And that was one of the reasons I got out of real estate and wanted to have an online business. But to answer your question about the virtual assistants, it definitely changed my life because I was able to afford to hire multiple virtual assistants full time in the Philippines. I tried out a couple different countries, but found that Philippines is what works best for our company, handshaking. And that's for multiple reasons that I could go into. But yeah, it changed my life. And today, now we've got an attorney, an accountant, management, all these folks working full time, and we're a proper organization with an organizational chart and everything. And life is good.
Yeah, great. I want to share my own experience when I was in election 2020.
Yeah.
I hired from 200 Philippine, the virtual and as well as my in America. So compared to that, in America, we have to pay $25 up to $45. So great experience. I can hire help of money to, in America, it cost those learning office to, I can hire 200 people from Philippines very fast. Only, 1 week, I can hire 200 because there is a very agency, many agency, and they are ready. They are all set up already officer, And especially, I already had before that many virtual office experience. I choose right away good person is the. I think that I wanted to more about know that what is we have to really consideration three consideration when we hire virtual people. I myself I have like 20 people, nine now 20 virtual person already. I switched it from America to Philippines already to 20. While of course we have in our main office uh 10,000 employees already there, but I don't need to hire that much. But in my local regional California, still I have a lot of people. I save a lot of money, so that's I want to recommend other people. But the things is, my experience when I have virtual office building there's three different person. One is it's already ready to work. One another they are ready to work, but they what ready to work, but still we need some relationship builder. The other people there is they are in working, but they are not ready. So anyway, so the people we are choosing virtual company, I think the like you are in America, I think that is good to us to middle person, navigate to America and the Philippines. But my case is I was hired directly. I was adding at the newspaper, and then I hire manager, one manager make agency myself, and then those agent, the manager hire all the 250, very easy to step. But anyway, tell me that what is the processing? People you call you, what you gonna do? You call the people, business owner like me, call you, what is the step? How much they need to pay? And then what service, they have to contract or tell me that because myself I was a creation portal, myself I creation portal for office in Philippines. Still I have myself, I don't using any middle person like you, but give it some idea to say that, yeah.
Sure. Well, before I explain a little bit more about my business model, I want to complement what you said. I did some quick math here. If you take a $35 an hour and you multiply that by 40 hours a week times 4 weeks, that's about $5,600
Mhm.
to pay someone here in the US. And of course, it costs a lot more to live here. Rent costs more, food, you have your car insurance, you have your health insurance. That's a different conversation. But like Dr. Sarah said, if you can hire someone in the Philippines for 40 hours per week times 40, and that's about $320. So if you have online tasks for a virtual assistant, it's a lot easier to hire someone for $320 per month and try it for 6 months, where a lot of other business owners out there, maybe you have 25 grand to spend on payroll, but that's not even going to last you 6 months. And also when you hire in the US, you need to worry about payroll, you need to worry about additional tax forms and much more. So yeah, that's a really good point you brought up there. I just wanted to kind of walk everyone listening through the math for those who haven't considered hiring abroad yet. So with our business, if you'd like me to go into that, we actually don't sell services. In the early days, we were selling services, but the services were not very profitable for us. Clients they want to edit the logo, they want to edit the blog, and they can't pay much for it, because if you have a logo and a blog, that doesn't mean that you as a client are going to make more money. So we shifted our business model about 2 years into the business. And instead of building websites for clients, we built our own lead generation websites. So let me explain exactly what that means. Just let me know if there's a question. But what that means is we would develop a niche and a city. So our first website was Fort Collins Concrete Contractors. That was the name of our first lead generation asset or website. And as you can guess, Fort Collins is a city in Colorado, and people need their driveways repaired. They need a sidewalk added. They want to add a patio to the backyard. And when they Google concrete contractor, they find our website, and that's how we generate leads. The way that we make money is by selling those leads to a concrete contractor who needs more work in Fort Collins. And that was our first website. Today, we've got almost 150 websites. And we make money by selling leads, and we actually own all of the websites. So if we lose a client, it's not a big deal because we own the assets. We can just find another client. It's almost like rental. It's almost like owning a rental property. If your tenant leaves, well, that's too bad, but you can find another tenant. And that's kind of how the business model has shifted over the last couple of years.
Great, great. So, as I know, you work not only one America, right? You said you are global. You're working globally. Tell me about the experience. I was 35 days, travel Europe the month from July, end of July to early September. So, tell me about like when you are doing the international business, maybe there is a foreign policy or like some maybe limitation to you working with the international, maybe cultural or you need like cultural adaptance as well as because Philippine people or any other people, as well as you might have like distance management because we are in America, your client in America, maybe your staff in the Philippines. So we have the distance management as well as, a lot of legal, whenever you are business in Philippines, employee law and America's law difference. Maybe there is a legal, the enforcement, something legal things you need to consider. So tell me about those three things, how you managing those cultural difference, as well as the distance management, as well as how you can feasible law to America and those Filipino or any other country in global business. Tell me that. Yeah.
Sure. So the first part of your question was about how do we structure this legally? And I think that we've kept it pretty simple. Although I definitely consider handshaking an international business, we only sell to clients in the US. We've developed a couple experimental websites abroad in Canada and Philippines, but we haven't moved forward with that because if you start making money from another country, you might have some liability in that country. So we've avoided that. We only earn money from the US. And then of course we pay our team members in the Philippines, but that does not require us to own a Philippines company. Now, without a Philippines company, we cannot provide the same benefits that a local
Yes.
Philippines company can provide. However, we can pay their base salary, and then we have stipends and reimbursements and all kinds of things that represent a more generous package than many local employers in the Philippines. So we've chose to keep that pretty simple. The second question you asked was about cultural differences. That's a really big one, especially here in the US. We are not close to many other countries. When we go visit Mexico, it feels just like you're visiting Florida. If you go up to Canada, everyone speaks English. And there's not really many other countries where you can get a lot of perspective from different cultures. So I think the cultural barrier, there's three big barriers, in my opinion. There's cultural barriers, there's time zone barriers, and there's language barriers. Now, in my opinion, one of the reasons the Philippines is one of the best countries to outsource in is because the language barrier is pretty small.
Yeah.
Their English is generally pretty great, and anyone who wants to hire there, it's important to go ahead and hop on a video call before you hire them and just speak your native American English and see how comfortable it feels. Because the level of English can vary. For more international entrepreneurs, they might be a little bit more successful with that. They know to speak a little bit slower. So the language barrier is not a big one. The time zone barrier is worth noting. Now, in the US, a lot of people don't want to work the graveyard shift, where you start work at 8 p.m., 10 p.m. at midnight, and you work the graveyard shift. That's not really a great position to have in our country. However, in other countries, many people are flattered to work a graveyard shift because it means that they may be earning more than their peers that work the regular day shift. So the time zone is definitely something to be thankful for. If you hire someone and you want them to work American hours, at 10 p.m. in the Philippines, it's 8 a.m. where our company is based in Colorado. So if you expect someone to work late hours, be thankful for that. Make sure expectations are set. Sometimes some of them want to work a little bit earlier. Sometimes they want to start a little bit later. Either way, most of the shift, or at least half of it, is going to be graveyard. So that's important to communicate about and just be thankful for as an employer if your employees choose to work the graveyard shift. And then I'll speed up the last one. Unfortunately, the biggest one, the cultural barriers. Unless you go and live in another country where you're hiring, there's going to be a lot of cultural barriers that you may not be aware of. And I could go into more detail with that, but the only thing that means is to ask lots of questions, ask what they expect, make it a very easy environment for them to communicate things. You know, in
So
the sure.
yeah, great, great. So I think you not that much needed to distance management because you are not like UPS shipping, because usually UPS, those kind of company, they country all over the globe, they have the like really airline, all the management time, distance management time to income what profit. But anyway, I had experience myself, during hire those virtual service, like sometimes the person, maybe you have professional officer, then maybe not, but many internet like interrupted, because some people they said they not join the meeting, like I have a 200 people meeting, but because their internet was set down in those area, even they have it. So can you tell me about maybe how you can handle those like problem, maybe other problems during those virtual service, maybe not only myself, another entrepreneur, they are using what they have the risk tag. We are on right, but we have challenge to use things try. What is risk there? Tell me that,
Yeah, I
please.
think there's generally two mistakes or two issues that sometimes come up culturally. They're cultural differences, in my opinion. But I've noticed in the Philippines, if you live there and you make a mistake, it's a little bit more common for people around you to accuse you and tell you about your mistake being a problem. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't make mistakes, and it's not an easy environment to admit mistakes. But from the American perspective, mistakes are how we grow. It's how we learn. So balancing that, can be a challenge. I've even lived in the Philippines, but before I traveled out there, before I traveled much, I didn't realize that. I thought that my team members would be just like me and anxious. They'd be happy to talk about their mistakes and learn about it. But it turns out that, they might be a little worried about what their manager will think, or if they get in trouble, if they get reprimanded. So mistakes are kind of a big one to think about. You want to make that really easy to talk about mistakes, because as the employer, you need to know if there's problems in your business and you need to fix them. So the other thing you mentioned, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you had talked about the office. Where do these people work, especially if you're hiring a large amount of people, like over 100? With our company, we've always been remote. So everyone who works for us in the Philippines actually works from home. And the way we compensate for that is we have a Wi-Fi stipend, we have an annual office stipend, and they're able to really make a nice working station for themselves in their room or in their home. But it does need to be a private room, and we do ask for photos of where they're working, because I prefer my staff to have a comfortable desk to sit at, and proper Wi-Fi. If the Wi-Fi goes out, they need to have an emergency hotspot, which we also pay for. And in the Philippines, there's blackouts sometimes. I never really believed that until I visited, but the internet just stops working, and it can stop working for hours. And that doesn't happen as often in the US. So you kind of think your team member is telling you an excuse, but it is true. It does happen. And the way to fix that is try to have a second and third way for them to connect to the internet. Because if they can't connect to the internet, well, then they're not really working. And logging hours is important as well. So I hope that answers the questions.
Yeah, great. So I have a experience, I have a virtual team. I'm very thankful, they're spending as well as the time difference, get the benefit, because I usually learning my business daytime here, but still when I late over, time to like 11 o'clock, they are still they 11 like in early morning over there, so I can talk to until like 2 p.m. You know, supervising needed them because those are different. I have the extra time work needed them supervise them. However, once we give the assignment, your assignment every week, they do whatever they want to do, do at their time. So I think the myself, using to virtual officer, they got paid, and then they always express me to thank you, because of this, we building now, you building, you house, we those kind of, and as well as they grow through, I send them. So usually we send it to, the PayPal account, I send it to the agency. I made an agency myself. I'm not hire agency. I hire agency. I make through them, and then they help me, my team recruiting. But anyway, someone does not have time those or does not have skill. I think your program is absolutely too directly working easy fast. So, I'm really happy to work with them to give each week nice assignment, very, very benefit for me. But however, so someone never using those service, I'm really recommend because of myself, I'm continuously now from 2019 until now, I'm using continuously virtual office. But anyway, what is the really, not only just saving cost, right? So saving cost, as well as professionalism. So can you tell me those virtual office, maybe they have a limited professionalism or maybe more professionalism than local staff, or tell me that about how we expecting their professionalism. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think there's of course you can save money on payroll, but that's not the big picture. The important thing is you can grow your business faster because you can afford to hire a bookkeeper, you can afford to hire an attorney, you can afford to hire different specialties. This year we're looking into hiring a doctor, one specific doctor that's just going to be on call for all of our staff. Without being a Philippines company, we cannot offer health insurance. So we're going to get a doctor on payroll. That way people can have access to healthcare, at least e-healthcare. And then we do have an emergency loan program that they can use if there's ever an issue. But yeah, I don't know. Does that answer the question? Could you ask the question again?
The question is that, how we can get the more benefit entrepreneur. I know that we can save payroll, we can save the cost of the learning business, but not only save, there may be other benefit they use in virtual service. Just tell me maybe you can get the more professional people, or you can get some kind of, I want to know more, people, my audience know more about, you are the expert in that area. I want to know more like people, they really, why they need to get the virtual ops, why, not only just the cost, why. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it'll force you to learn different ways to think about the world. It's kind of hard to say what that's worth. But yeah, I mean, for me, it was really nice when we started hiring true professionals. A lot of
Mhm.
people think virtual assistant and they think entry level position.
Mhm.
But it turns out, once you hire folks with master's degrees, folks with a law degree, there's a nice level of profession. I mean, it's pretty cool for me to be able to ask. It's really cool that I can afford access to unlimited legal support. My attorney in the Philippines can't do everything, but she was able to help me cut my legal bill into something that I don't flinch and cringe and suffer from. I used to hire American attorneys for $550 an hour, and you really limit your time, and you might not get the hand holding that you need with different types of legal problems. So yeah, I think it's important for business owners to think about hiring true professionals and educated folks in addition to entry level kind of
The things
admin.
is, I understand that, but they still need the limitation to, because they cannot counsel for in California without license in California. I think they can give a general idea, they can find a problem, they can give solution, but I think they are not in license in California. So I think they have some limited. So are you still satisfied those service? Because what exactly, because they are not licensed in California or whatever, you are in Texas or whatever. So they are not satisfied those part, how you can handle it. Yeah, how we can handle it. But we
Sure.
hire virtual, so as we expecting what you say, but will be problem. We have to hire another attorney, then maybe we wasting those time and money for virtual office, and because we find out this matter, we have to go to court trial, as well as we have to have some license, counseling us. So how until what stage we can get a like a doctor or like a, very professional license? Should they have a license in California, but they are not. So I think there is some limitation. Tell me that until where or what is the limitations, where we should expecting, where not should expecting it.
Yes, I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
They have not passed the bar in the US or in any state.
Mhm.
However, the way I see it is if you're a business owner and you don't have a law degree,
Mhm.
but there's a legal problem, well, now you are in charge of a legal problem and you do not have a Juris Doctor. So if you can hire someone who's been to law school, that's an advantage.
Mhm.
However, if you're going to trial for a big case, I totally agree. You still need a U.S. attorney, and it needs to be in the state that the legal problem is in. What I've used my attorney for is more contract drafting for specific requests that our clients have. I've used them as a landlord. I own a couple properties, and if there's problems with my tenants, she can draft up a demand letter. I can file a small claim suit that's only up to 7,500, which covers most landlord tenant issues that I've experienced. But of course, it's complicated to figure out what form do I file, when is that due, how do I deliver this form to the defendant, and in the meantime, my attorney can do all the research and draft those forms for me. I still need to look them over, and at the end of the day, I'm responsible for it, not my U.S. attorney. But that's the whole goal of small claims court in many states. So,
Yeah, I agree because I do legal service all the time. Even I have several attorney working with me that we have to pay at least $350 per hour, even research. So in this case, we have a paralegal or LDA. They are less expensive. We can hire, but still they are expensive comparable, Philippine attorney or who. So I think that is on. I think the limitation is on. We are not required, right? Research, some kind of the basic, but we spending. But like doesn't have a law degree, they don't understand. But they have a law degree, they understand. They quickly finding a solution. I think that it's good to even we hire another attorney or a licensed doctor. Still, we hire attorney or a doctor. They needed to diagnosis. They needed to find out. So I think, but should client entrepreneur, remember those things. They are now licensed. We cannot asking that much, but still save time, cost. It's good to. I think very good. So I wanna know about yourself. What is passionate? What is your 5 years goal to in your company or yourself, or you contribution your life to America and all your life for the handshake business. So how we can help you, how we can collaboration for your 5 years goal or your future goal or your current goal? Just yourself, please. Yeah.
sure. Well, as an online company in the tech space, we're part of building out the internet. We're building our lead generation websites throughout the US, and it's an exciting space. It's an exciting new industry to be a part of. So, I see us staying in the tech space. Google algorithm changes and marketing changes every single quarter, every single year. So, we're always adjusting and improving and optimizing and looking at the data. So, I think we'll still be doing that 5 years in the future. I had a goal to be to 10 million in sales which would be next March, but I don't think we're going to get there. So maybe I'll push that goal back an additional 5 years, and maybe we can get to 10 million in sales per year. That would be quite a milestone.
If
Um,
we if you do 10 million, how many contract you needed to do? How many things you need? How many transaction you needed to do?
yes, gosh, it came down
Yeah.
to we were on track for it when we were launching 10 websites per month.
Mhm.
When we were launching 10 websites per month, but it's hard to manage and grow a sales team. Everyone
Mhm.
needs to be as passionate about your business as
Mhm.
you. So, the management slows me down, and finding the right talent. That's what's
Mhm.
slowing us down from our goal. So yeah, that's one goal. As far as what else I'm passionate about, connecting Americans with the international community. Our country's
Mhm.
far away from a lot of other beautiful cultures, and especially with my ties to the Philippines, I'm passionate about connecting Americans with many cultural aspects and people in the Philippines as well as many other countries. So I see that being a part of my career as well. In addition to being in the tech space and continuing with our business model and our lead generation activities, I'm also now offering consulting to other businesses that are bigger than us and helping them hire in the Philippines. An attorney in the Philippines will not replace the legal department for your US company, but they can help with 80-90% of the work. So, at the end of the day, there's many things you'll still need someone licensed in your state for law. But the way I see law is it's kind of like healthcare. Sometimes health issues come up, but you don't need to go to the emergency room every single time. Sometimes you just need to change your diet, get more exercise, drink more water, pop an Advil. And law is the same way. You don't go to trial for every single issue. How many tenants out there have lost their security deposit? And did all of those tenants go to court and go to trial for their security deposit? No way. 90% or less of them, 90% or more did not go to court. So, having an attorney to help you out might help. It's going to help. It's not going to solve the problem the same way a U.S. attorney can. But hey, if you hire a U.S. attorney to get your $1,000, $2,000 deposit back, your bill is going to be bigger than your deposit. If you hire an attorney to help you, maybe you can
So
settle
yeah,
and
I
get.
can I can share my experience. I'm at the real estate Meridian Beverly Hills Realty and Management Company CEO. So I have a licensed broker, long time. I working at Becker's Hathaway. I was working Becker's Hathaway, Warren Buffett, on those franchise office in Beverly Hills. Anyway, so I do specialize managing apartment, and those you said those deposit is not that much, only who are not furnished just 1 month to furnished up to 2 months, right? Only even in Beverly Hills, Beverly is a different story because Beverly Hills is deposit like 1 or 2 months. It's 5,000, 6,000, but most Los Angeles, not that much, 1,500 or 2,000. They go to the more small claims. So, there is not that much small claim expert in area because those small claim is limited. Those each county, each city, and each state is different, those limitations. So we should research each county, where county to how much the limited up.
Exactly.
So yeah, so and then those most of people they are not go to the contract. Usually people should go to the breach contract, but there is a lot of attorney fees, like hourly 350. Even eviction, eviction case is still, I have in one case is my managing property, my partner property. uh we have people they don't pay like 6 months, 1 year. The many cases we are filing 2 months still, during processing those until their eviction. We have 6 months. A lot of attorney fee, and they go to the trial. It's a lot of things. So if you're in a virtual office who know about that, get time to time, very sensitive those time because of eviction or enough attorney, those later 30 days notice. 1 month notice, order those notice 10 days, 3 days, notice 10 days, 1 month, those order notice, as well as send back to those, deposit money, those honest money, everything. Very have the on time, but like we do a lot of things to do. But if we have a virtual office like you do, who have a legal expert to find out basic things and take care of on time, I think that is great idea. I think, yeah. I'm definitely recommend your service. This we have only 1 minute, about 1 minute 41 second. Tell me the what is last last statement what you want to say to my audience. Yeah.
Sure. I'll give something really actionable and easy. And this applies to business owners that have a single location. With all the marketing we do, all the money we invest in content, all the logos that we make, there's one thing that makes a huge difference. And that applies to you if you've got a single location, or if you use your home office, you can use your home. But what you need to do is verify your business on Google. That's where people in the US are searching for your business. And unlike many other websites that you can sign up for and list your website, Google usually sends you a postcard. So it's a really easy thing. Just go to google.com/business and register your business with an address and a phone number. Write a little bit on the description, and they're probably going to send you a postcard. And once you have that code, it's verified. And it all depends on your city and how much competition's in that city, but you might just unlock hundreds of leads calling you per month. We've seen that happen many times. So hope that helps for the solo location entrepreneurs out there.
Yes, great, great. Thank you so much for all the information that you shared with us. We are really happy for this time. I'm very thankful for you joined Dr. Sarah you show, as well as Contribution America, the great. Thank you. Next time I want to invite you more that deeply. We can talk about it, about how we can hire your, your company, the step and